Paramania Radio. Have you ever wondered what's behind the open door? Then tune in with hosts Maggie Renee and Jody Nettles every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Only on the Paramania Radio Network. If it's paranormal or something spooky that you want, then this is a show where you will hear all about it. Join Scott Morrow, host of The Fearless Ghost Hunter, every Saturday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern on the Paramania Radio Network. The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual hosts and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Paramania, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
You are listening to Paramania Radio.
You're listening to the Parasearch UK radio show with your hosts Kerry Greenaway and Jay Lynch, right here on Paramania Radio.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Parasearch UK radio show with your beautiful hostess from across the pond, Miss Kerry Greenaway. How are you tonight, lass?
I'm really good, thank you. And how are you?
Goofy in hell, like always. I'm on a rant today, so y'all just watch it. We're also being joined by Dr. Dave and Teresa, of course, are joining us tonight. We're supposed to have more of a discussion of what we were discussing, 2 weeks ago?
Yes, and then Thanksgiving happened.
Yeah, thanks for giving. I mean, I just got a dirty look.
You should be used to them by now.
Yeah, that's why I didn't give a shit. Dr. Dave, how are you?
I think he's eating.
Oh, God. I love messing with him when I start the show.
He says, let me eat.
So, did you like having that week off of that, having to put up with this because of Thanksgiving?
It was very weird not doing a show at midnight. I have to say, I was sort of sitting there going, oh, what am I going to do with myself now? So I watched a film.
What'd you watch?
I actually caught up with the Pirates of the Caribbean film that I missed in the cinema, the Salazar's Revenge.
I haven't seen that. I've seen the first 3, and there's like 5 now.
Yeah, I really wanted to see it in the cinema, and I didn't get a chance. And so I got it because it's out on DVD now. So I watched that, and I was sort of like, like when, you're normally doing something else, and you're like, this is weird,
Yeah.
This is like a little strange.
Out of character.
Yeah, this is like not what I'm normally doing. And so I was like, oh, bit of a loose end, really, wandering around. So I watched a film, and I don't often get to sit down and watch TV or films. I've done that a bit more recently, but that's not normally what I do. So it was weird. It's all I can say. I like doing my radio. So don't have Thanksgiving off again.
Well, we won't for at least 1 year.
Yeah, it'll be another year. We'll have it hold off for another year.
And
Okay, thank you.
I missed it too. I did. I missed it as well. I truly did.
I was tired.
But because
From all the cooking.
Yeah, me and Teresa did all the cooking pretty much. We kept it small. My mom, my brother, her brother, my niece and her boyfriend, my son and his girlfriend. It was 9 of us.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of nice. It was kind of nice. But then again, it's almost like every weekend. I mean, how often does everybody show up at the weekends and stuff? And we could do all the cooking then. So It's really no different for us. And I don't know. I got mixed. I have mixed feelings about Thanksgiving.
So do you have more of a Thanksgiving than you do a Christmas, or is that just another? I mean, because it's like not even a month apart, is it?
No,
Christmas is way bigger.
Thanksgiving starts the feeding holidays. Because you got Thanksgiving, and then we do Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, then you got New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Because people usually do meals.
Yeah. Oh, I see. I mean, over here, Christmas Day and Boxing Day, obviously. And then New Year's Eve is just like a party fest, really, more than a family meal thing.
Well, Thanksgiving, like I said, I've got such mixed emotions about it that we all know that a lot of that is bullshit. It's lore and myth more than what it's true about what they claim about Thanksgiving. And I know a lot of the Native American Indians now call it National Day of Mourning, and they actually, some of them are actually went into doing hunger strikes for 24 hours during Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Because, what happened with the settlers coming over here from England and the plagues and everything else and the sickness that it caused and the death toll that it caused and everything else. So there's a lot of mixed emotions about it, So I don't know. I just kind of like, it's just another day to get together. And I get 2 days off with pay from work. I get to sit around, eat and drink for 4 days. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I suppose it does bring like families together, doesn't it? And people you don't see for ages. It gives you a chance to spend time with, those kind of people. And, I'm all for that kind of thing, regardless of, anything else.
Oh, and then it cracks me up because the very next day we have Black Friday, which is so wonderful. Let's take Thursday and we'll all celebrate the things that we're thankful for. So on Friday we can go trample the shit out of each other to buy more shit that we don't really need.
Yeah, that's starting to spread over to the UK as well. But it tends to be almost like a week-long affair now. It's not just one day. It tends to sort of...
yeah.
It's like commercialism gone crazy.
Well, over here you got Black Friday. Then on Saturday you got Small Business Saturdays to celebrate the mom and pop shops and things like that are still in business. That Walmarts and things like that haven't put under. And then Sunday you kind of just have a day of trying to collect your thoughts because Monday is Cyber Monday. Now you got all the good cyber sales. And then Tuesday is because you gave all that thanks. You spent all that money on yourself and your family. Now it's all about giving. Now it's about donation day. So Facebook went crazy with all these donation tabs. And oh, my God.
It's like just any reason to get money out of you.
Right. This is the whole month of let's play off the human emotions and sap every dime you can out of your pocket. Make people go in debt, get anxiety attacks, panic attacks. People get mad because I didn't get the right gift. For what? Obviously, you can tell I'm not a good person for the holidays.
Oh, you're having a little rant tonight, aren't you?
Oh, I'm absolutely in the mode. Yeah. I actually made a mistake yesterday at work, and I'm still pissed about it. I don't allow myself to make mistakes, and when I do, I get mad.
Oh, my goodness. They've shared my island into the chat room where I live, my little Canvey Island. So it's definitely not like a Caribbean island, trust me. It's barely an island. Anyway, guys, tonight I thought we're going to have another roundtable kind of discussion. And I thought we'd have a look at the role of mediums in the paranormal field.
Uh-oh. I'm going to get in trouble tonight.
However, everybody who does the paranormal has this, a common theme is that, that you do tend to get more sensitive to spirit and energy the more you investigate.
I disagree. I don't think you get more sensitive to it.
I think you're more aware of your surroundings, and you learn that, okay, just from doing it so frequently, okay, just before we start getting activity, I kind of feel this little bit of charge in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what it is. Not necessarily sure it's more sensitive to spirit, but I think that you become more sensitive to... You're more aware of your surroundings and when things start happening.
So actually you're becoming more aware of your own tool, which is your body.
Right.
Which is registering the changes in the environment around you.
Yes.
I see that for people who do have ability. Someone like me who doesn't have the sensitivity of a stone. To me, it's no different than when I go in the woods, and when I used to go hunting and stuff like that, I get more in tune with my environment. I get more in tune with the animals, but then you get yourself more familiar with your environment, so you know what's natural and what's not natural, what's happening that's a normal sound and what's not a normal sound. So you become more in tune with it that way, but not as far as a ability, because I don't have abilities besides being a smart ass, and I'm damn good at that.
That's true.
David?
Yeah, this is the one time I can actually get away with calling my wife a tool.
That's true.
This is the one time I can get away with that, because she is a tool or an asset in investigations, or even since she does a lot of the case management stuff. It enables her not only to help the clients better and comfort them better, but also weed out the people who just want attention, which is unfortunately a lot of our wasted time in paranormal investigations is with people who just want attention, really don't have anything going on. They just saw something and was like, "Ooh, well, let's have someone investigate our house." And so it's just
they want their own private.
Yeah, they want a private TV show.
Or Ghost Adventures episode live going on in their front room. You do get some of that, don't you?
Yes, you do. And then
that's why I have Teresa do with the clients.
And then you have the drug addicts and the alcoholics and the schizophrenics.
And the mentally
ill.
Unstable, I think, is the word we should use for that.
It's now appropriate to call them cray-cray.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Cray-cray.
I think that's a millennial thing.
Cray-cray.
Cray-cray. So, but yeah.
I'm not a millennial.
Me neither.
But I get it.
Me neither.
But I get it. But it's. I think that sensitives in this field do have their place. I posted a thing today on my page and Hindsight's page and stuff about, do I think that we're thinning ourselves out too much and we're losing our credibility in this so-called field?
Okay.
It's because I'm seeing too much shit. I'm not going to lie about it. This is just how I feel.
It's shit that you're saying. I mean, it's not anything that's credible.
Well, it's everything is acceptable now, and I seen somebody that I know posted a thing. They're going to have classes for defense classes against protection classes against spirit/talking boards. How to protect yourself when you're around them. Are you serious? What are we going to do? Break out Harry Potter wands next and have spirits? Going to have our classes against the dark arts.
I've got a wand,
but I'm just saying, it's getting.
We'll be okay.
And I have no problem with people having wands. But it's getting to where it's indicative of our society. Nobody wants to offend anybody, so therefore everything's acceptable. And to me, it's not. I think we're absolutely thinning ourselves out to where everything's so acceptable that we're losing absolutely any kind of credibility in any direction with this field, because everything has to be so blatantly silly. I mean, come on. You got to be able to prove first that something evil is about that board. And it's not based upon your beliefs or your superstitions or your fears or your niece's, nephew's, best friend's dog's best friend's cousin had a bad experience with it one time when they was 30 years old and now they're 70. Give me a break.
Preach it, Brother Jay. Preach it.
Yeah.
I'm can you tell me I'm on a roll?
Yeah,
I'm absolutely irritated as shit right now.
Yes, you certainly are.
Maybe I'll turn my mic off and let you three have an educated
Damn,
discussion.
who opened up that can of worms?
I was going to say, what do we do with that? So
I like the three of you. I do have a passion about what we're doing. I do believe in what we're doing. I didn't when I first got involved with it. I thought everything was bunk. I opened my mind up to things. I've learned a lot. I've seen a lot that I cannot explain. I do believe there's paranormal activity going on. What I don't believe is all these different directions that people are taking it, and it's just whitewashing the hell out of it, and it's bullshit.
It's turned into more of a business, hasn't it? I mean, even in the mediumistic world, there are a lot of mediums that profess to do things that basically what they're doing is cold reading.
Right.
You know, they're looking at a person dressed in a certain way and making generalized comments of lifestyle or possible connections that are like cues from the way a person is acting or sitting or wearing, or, you know, there's quite a lot of those around in the UK anyway. I don't know about America. I think it's probably quite similar. But then you get the genuine mediums that go out and blow you away with information that they come out with on an investigation.
Yeah, and since you opened that Pandora's box too, this is my turn now. So,
okay,
I have always been a skeptical-minded person. Okay, now I'm married to a medium, but before knowing her, I was very skeptical about mediums because it's just like, you know, okay, it would be nice if it were real, but is it really real? Are these people doing? And I've seen so many examples of phishing that goes on during mediumship, especially with the celebrity psychics. My God, these people get paid hundreds of dollars for people to attend their little events, gallery reading, where they're not going to call on you. They're going to call on the guy they paid to plant in the audience. He's going to have this amazing outcome, but it's not you. and it's just, it drives me insane. And that's the people who are making it big, who are just pure con artists, you know. Then there's the people who are delusional, who think they know they have abilities that they don't have, unfortunately. And I feel sorry for them in some ways because...
And they're convinced they have them.
They're convinced. You can't tell them otherwise. They know they have it, but they don't. They really don't. And here's my thing. So I always do... if I feel like, I don't do this so much anymore. I used to do this all the time. I would call up for a reading for if someone was doing readings or whatever, and I'm very controlled about what I say, how I present myself, to not give away anything, because the whole mentalist thing is more common than you think, even with people who aren't of the higher intelligent quotient that they're good at mentalism. So cold reading and so forth, but I test them out and see what it can get and see if they actually hit on anything that makes any sense whatsoever in my life, just to give them the opportunity to see if they're real or not. And 95% of them fail right off the bat with that test. Now, even my wife initially, I was skeptical, even though I started seeing patterns of things being real and confirmed from what she said early on. But I wasn't really truly convinced. And get this, okay? 2 years into being together, she had 2 years previously, we were standing on the porch one night talking about Henderson or whatever, and she just all of a sudden stopped, turned to me, and she goes, "You have a child that you don't know, that you never were told about, and you're going to find out about her in 2 years." I was like, okay. That's
I already know where this one's going.
And then 2 years later, almost to the day, I go up to my wife and go, "I just got an email from someone claiming to be my child."
Wow. So,
from that moment on, the last seed of doubt that I had was gone.
I can imagine.
But I don't get that kind of confirmation from other people who give readings. And maybe it's because I'm difficult, or they can't connect to my energy, but if you're a medium, and this is the thing that gets me, if you're a medium, and this is another definition problem we have, because people lose track of what's psychic and medium. If you're a medium, you're communicating with spirit. If you're communicating with spirit, you're not connecting to my energy, you're connecting to their energy, and their energy should already know. So if you can connect to their energy, you should be able to provide evidence that proves to someone that you are speaking to someone who knows information about them.
Okay, yeah.
So, and that's the test that most of them fail. And so that's my rant about that.
Okay. So do you think in the paranormal field there is a relevance for mediums to work?
Yes. If they're genuine.
Wow.
That was a resounding yes from the men.
Yes, it was.
No, I firmly believe that there is. I firmly believe that there's people out there who have abilities and gifts. Not all are psychics. Some are empathic. Some are just energy healers, workers, or whatever. I believe in all that, and I believe that they have a place in the paranormal field. But I also believe that they have a place to work alongside the people with the scientific thing, that they can actually help each other out longer and farther along than just one side or the other. That's what I don't believe in. I think the whole join of two sides and you're either this way or that way is absolute horseshit. That it's pushing the things away.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. The only thing I would say about a medium's role in investigating, and this is something my wife and I have butt heads on occasionally, is I don't want you contaminating me and the other investigators telling me what you've picked up, whether it is accurate or not. Because just because medium gets consistent good results doesn't necessarily mean that they're 100% accurate all the time.
No, because it's about interpretation, isn't it?
Well, some of it is, and then the other part is, humans lie, spirits lie. Big surprise. Mm-hmm. So everybody lies. Mm-hmm. So the information may not be accurate, but it contaminates the investigator by telling them certain bits of information and may cause them to go down paths of investigation that are not necessarily what the reality is. It also may cause, and this is a problem I kind of see, but there's no real proof of it, is the manifestation of events that don't really, wouldn't really occur otherwise. You see this in like big time pay for play investigation places where stories get created over something that never happened in history and reality at that location. And then all of a sudden they're talking to a spirit that consistently get results from and talk to, that was supposedly somebody committed suicide in a room in the building, yada, 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 X million years ago. But, that never really happened.
I understand what you're saying, yeah. So,
yeah, but that's my only concern about mediums in the role is do your walkthroughs, gather your information, take notes, write it down, or record it on your own into a recorder, just walking along by yourself. But then after the investigation, when you're no longer going to contaminate the initial investigation, then sit down and say, well, okay, this is what I picked up, and okay, this is what we got in recordings and video and stuff, and compare notes and see where things line up.
Yeah, so that basically turns the investigation on its head, because at the moment, most people do the walk around with the medium and everybody's there. So you all hear that information, and you're right, it builds that story. So you do focus your investigation into what the medium has said. Whereas, like you said, if they do it on their own or with just one other team member and then do that, so not the rest of the team are unaware of what the medium has said, then go and do your investigation and listen to it afterwards in review.
Yep.
That would be the best way. We've done a couple of investigations like this where I'm starting to get impressions and things on our way to an investigation.
Feelings, thoughts, whatever you want to call it.
So I just start writing them down. Then this last time we were like, okay.
This is why we all love Teresa. She's awesome.
Well, we were like, what if people could, if I show them this and this is what happened, they can say, well, you just wrote that down afterwards. So what I did was, as I was getting it, I sent it to Jay in a text. That way it was time-stamped.
Yeah,
I
told her
good idea.
Now, either text it or email it. That way, as soon as you do it, it's automatically time-stamped and dated. So you have proof of when you actually put it.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah. See, I'm not as dumb as I act. Thank God.
We know that. But we know this about you. That's a really good idea. And time-stamping is a thing that we have talked about before in regards to investigation. It's one thing that teams seem to forget to do is timestamp when you get your activity. Helps so much in footage review, oh my goodness, you can skip a load of stuff when you've got timestamps on it, like when you've documented timestamps, and then you can cross-reference, like you said. Now, I have been to an investigation with a medium who came out with some information that after the investigation, it wasn't found pre-research, but after the investigation, we found out the information. So there was no way they could have, telepathically picked it up. There is that theory of telepathic interaction within the field and stuff like that, because none of us knew about it. Even the person who had researched it had no idea until after the event. we then went away and did more research and actually found out what the information that the medium had said was actually correct, which was fantastic.
See that, and then when you have an empath or a psychic, whatever you want to call them, and they have that and they get something, and you can go back and find tangible proof of it. Or if what's even better to me is if Teresa gets a reading and she's saying what she's feeling in this room and stuff, and start getting not just one but 2 or 3 pieces of equipment to go along and collaborate her feelings or the ambience of the room or whatever, and then turn around and go find out some historical fact to get all 3 of those trifecta together. It doesn't happen often, but to me, that's so credible, so amazing.
Yes. It's trying to log the environmental changes in conjunction with facts and
with their
spiritual and spiritual. All 3 things. It should be attacked from 3 angles.
Now, my thing was with the spiritual thing is that that's pissing me off anymore about that. It's nothing against the spiritualists either. It's the people that want to say, well, what they want to automatically, when you say spiritual, they want to put it in some form of a religious context, when they're not realizing that what you guys are talking about with spiritual is the spirit, the ghost, or the spirit, or the energy, or whatever you want to talk about. They always want to twist it in contextual and into some form of religious context, which now, in my opinion, taints a lot of your evidence. It really does when you put it into a religious concept, because now you're looking at it from your religious perspective. Somebody doesn't believe the same as you has a different viewpoint on it. People don't actually just take this evidence for what it is and look at the credibility of it for what it is. They always want to put their interpretation on it. That just drives me nuts. It absolutely drives me nuts.
Isn't that just human nature, though?
No, it's not. It's a choice. I could put my Southern Baptist belief into whatever I find, but I don't. I take whatever I have as evidence, and I'm doing the finger quotes in here as evidence, because my experience of whatever I captured, and I present it to you as what it is. This is a disembodied voice, or this is that. What do you think it is? I don't know. Nobody knows. In my opinion, I never say, well, it's a ghost or it's Aunt Sally, unless it comes out and says, hey, it's Aunt Sally. Tell them to get off my feather bed. I think they suck. Then I got some credible evidence of who it is. But I tell this is
it's
what
not
I
Aunt
have.
Sally.
What do you think?
It's lying. It's a demon.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, see, that's what
You said the D word.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So that's what I mean. It's so people are putting so much of that into it right now. And that's one of the things, like I said, with that thing I saw about having protection from Ouija board classes. Come on, you're putting your complete personal beliefs into it. Now you're putting your own personal beliefs and personal perspective into it, and you're teaching it to other people. So you're perpetuating the insanity of this dribble that we have no proof of.
I can sum you up in really quick how to protect yourself from a Ouija board. Figure out how to do a Ouija board session properly, then do it properly, or don't do it. That's how you protect yourself.
But now there I go. What's the proper way to do a Ouija board? I've had 10 people tell me 10 different ways. All of them about opening it up and all about closing it, but all of them do it differently. Some say if you don't close it out with a prayer, then you're allowing the portal to hell. That's your religious beliefs again. That's not
beliefs,
actually what's going on with the board.
I think
beliefs.
It's about setting your intention and at the beginning and setting your intention at the end. That's all it is. No matter which way you execute it, it comes down to setting intentions.
No, I know how I deal with it. I let Teresa and Callie and Kerry and all them mess with it because I know me. I'm going to get hold of it. I'm going to say, well, now that went well, what else can we do?
So, anyway, got little rants going on tonight. I like having a medium on an investigation. I do.
A lot of people do.
I do.
Yeah.
But I take it for what it is, just like I do with my equipment.
That's right. I think you're right. But I do think, like we said before, you have to have in your mind a 3-pronged attack at any activity that is allegedly happening around you.
True. Richard said he'd like to go on an investigation with me. I want to interject my Southern Baptist beliefs in there. Hell, I can't, because everything's evil. There's nothing here. If it's here, it's evil.
It's a demon if it's here.
Not always a demon. They always say evil. They don't always say a demon. There's difference.
That's true.
There's demons, there's the devil, there's demons, and then the demons also have little minions, just little
Praise
evil
Jesus,
little
hallelujah,
bastards.
amen.
Exactly. Bless my poor mama's heart. She says, I'll pray for you. I'm like, Mama, hasn't worked in 30 years. Please stop. I love you. Stop.
Okay. We have a slightly less extreme perspective over here in the UK. You obviously have personal belief systems. And I also think you don't always realise. I never say I have a personal belief system, but I kind of do. And
yes,
when I've
do.
been working, of course I do, because I got brought up through the education system in a C of E kind of religious banner, I suppose. You know, that's what you do at school.
Until you met us, you thought every American was a gun-toting redneck. Oh, shit, I am a gun-toting redneck. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, you are a gun-toting redneck. Come on now. I mean, obviously we have staunch believers, religious believers in the UK, but not. It does seem to be quite a thing in America of religious
what's my
belief.
explanation for that? What did I tell you from the first time I met you? What did I tell you about that when we
This
discussed?
is true. It's because we shipped them all over to your country.
Exactly. You guys took every religious zealot and kicked them the hell out of England and sent just about every one of them over here. And you took all your convicts and sent them to Australia. Now you guys got to sit back. You guys get it nice and peaceful. You got a few here and there of the bad, a few here and there of the crazy religion. But the rest of them, you got the hell out there and send over here because they could have their religious freedom and persecute everybody over here for everything they do.
Wow.
So, I mean, I've had this recently. I was doing a working. I'm changing the subject.
I'm getting dirty looks over here.
I was doing a working, and I didn't realise I had a belief system in place. And it was only when I started doing this working that I realised that this belief system was there from probably my childhood when I was growing up. And I banished a guide because it didn't conform to what I didn't even realise what I supposedly believed it should look like. So I actually banished it and then thought, actually, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I was like, oh, I'm really sorry, guide, come back. You know what I mean? Just because you didn't look like what I thought you was going to look like. I just did a banishing on you. I had a lot of making up to do on that one. But
I bet you did.
Oh, hell yeah. Because it didn't appear in the traditional humanoid form. It wasn't alien either. But you know what I mean? It didn't. It looked. Aliens! Oh, don't bring my Mark Manley into this show, please. But
You Mark Manley on here bad.
Yeah, I banned it. I'm trying to ban him from saying it. He's just not having none of it. But
I did it for him.
That's my Parasearch show on a Friday. I have a co-host called Mark Manley who always, no matter what topic we're talking about, will bring aliens into it and shout it, just like Jay just did. And we could be talking about something so unrelated to aliens, but he will always seem to find a link somewhere. So that's what that reference is to. But this is that. But going back to the situation I had, that was because I didn't even realise I had that belief system in place whilst working in that way. Now, when I work in the field, I don't really sort of like ask my guys to step forward and, work in that way because I'm working in an energy way, which is really what you do, isn't it, Teresa?
It is.
And it's a completely different way of working. It's not, I'm connecting with this spirit who's walked into the room and he looks like this and he's telling me that. It's more about feeling the energy changes within the environment and being able to hopefully work with that energy change to bring that spirit more forward.
I think that if you do that and you bring that where you can, when someone that has abilities is on an investigation, they usually are the first point of contact, in my opinion. And then if you can kind of maybe coerce that spirit to come out a little bit more, it makes it a lot easier for those that don't have abilities because then you start working with the equipment. But if you've got a spirit that's kind of like hanging out in the corner and you know where it is, you have to move your equipment to go over there.
But I had this at an investigation recently, Teresa, where a spirit came in. I went, if you're going to do an EVP session, now's a good time to do it and do it over here because this is where he is. Yeah. And then they spent so long mucking about with equipment that
He
by
was
then
gone.
he went, sod that, I'm off. Do you know what? Well, he didn't quite say it in that terms, but do you know what I mean? He dissipated and off he went. And I was like doing my damnedest to say, bear with us, we're coming, we really want to talk to you, to tell your story and all this. And I say it went, and then that was it. It was a nightmare trying to get the equipment in the right place at the right time quickly enough to liaise with this energy form. Do you know what I mean? If it would have liaised. I mean, we didn't actually manage to do that because, oh gosh, we had heaters on and all sorts, and then we had to get them turned off, and then we had to move all the equipment. Oh, it was a nightmare. And it was like frustrating, incredibly frustrating.
It can be very frustrating, especially like you said, if when you say it makes you sound like I said move and I want you to do it now. And that's not what it is. It's like, if you want to catch this, you got to go over here when I say come over here.
Yeah.
You don't have time to lollygag around and pick up your stuff and meander over there and then set it back up, because now you already blew it.
Yeah. Done.
And that's very frustrating. And especially if you happen to be with a group that doesn't really know you.
Yes.
Like if I'm with Jay and the group that we're with now with Paravisions, if I say that, they're like, okay, let's go. But if they didn't know me, they're like, what the hell is she talking about?
We've known them for about 8 years now. And so we have and we've worked with them on and off for that time. Now we're part of the team. But we have a working relationship with them. We know each other's styles and techniques. And that does make a difference also. On all this stuff I'm going off a little tyrant about, that makes a huge difference. The people that you're working with. Yeah. If you have good people that you can trust and that you can, they know what you're going to do, and they know that you're going to take care of your responsibility. Like if we're in a situation, if somebody looks at me in the room and they think that I'm what's going to be the empathic one for the night, I'm like, this investigation, screw this, Teresa's job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know your role and you do your job, and on a team that does help. So,
completely. This was, I will say this about this particular evening. It was a brand spanking new team working on a brand spanking new location that only I had been to, or no, one other member had been to before as well. And there were people that hadn't met other people on the team and tech that we'd not come across before that was being set up. There was a lot going on that night that made the investigation quite disjointed, through nobody's fault. And next time we investigate, it'll get better, and then next time we do it, it'll get even better, and then eventually it'll be a well-oiled machine, and we'll all know each other, and things will be a lot easier. Do you know what I mean?
They just don't have the flow down yet.
But we haven't got the flow down yet. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. So it was always going to be a difficult investigation, working in the way. And also, get this, I was told I was not allowed to work with crystals. I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do this?
Did you put them in your pocket anyway?
I had one.
That's my girl.
Didn't tell them. I was like,
I don't go anywhere without my crystals.
No, but because of the way we were doing the location, we're trying to break it down into experiments, and it's a whole new ball game of trying to turn investigation techniques on their head to try and document things in a different way. So it was always going to be an awkward investigation. We'd got nothing at all. It was like the activity was like the whole energy of the place was like dead as a doornail. It was horrendous.
Wow.
Oh yeah. And then this one spirit came through, energy signature, came through. And like I say, it was like by the time we sorted ourselves out, it like sodded off. And I was like, it's gone now. Sorry.
No, you can say
tried.
spirit. I'm sorry about my little. Well, I'm just saying you can say spirit stuff. It's just I don't feel comfortable with giving those advice and those things. I don't feel comfortable with it, and that doesn't mean that Dave and Jenny or Teresa and you or 10 billion other people that Paranormal Investigate aren't right. I just don't feel that I can say those things for even as long as I've been doing this. I just don't. I don't think that I have enough data to make me give a positive reading on what I think something is. That's just my personal preference. If you can and you feel that good about it because your abilities and stuff, I support you 1,000%. I'm just not going to make that call. I'm going to leave it up to Teresa or somebody else.
Dave?
I think the problem you started off with your investigation had nothing to do with what you said. It had to do with the spanking. If that wasn't involved, I'm pretty sure your investigation would have gone better.
Oh, well, I didn't tell anybody about that
See-
bit.
I wanted to say something so bad both times she said brand spanking. I'm like, ooh, Kerry likes the spanking. She's bringing that up.
I was holding on to that for quite a while.
Shh.
And
That's
now
private
we go-
information.
And now Dr. Dave takes the show to the gutter and not Jay for a change.
Right?
It was my turn. It was my turn. I took advantage of it. Well, I got thoughts all over the place, so I'm not really sure what to say at this point.
Roll with one. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
Oh
go
dear
with it.
God. No,
You throw
I
enough
re-
shit at something's got to stick.
No, I mean you're really scatterbrained. No, I just got nothing to say right this second.
Okay.
I don't know why.
That's
Did you
fair
see
enough.
Did you see Max's question in the chat room?
If you fill your pockets with crystals and get hit by a laser, do lasers fly? No. Although
No,
I have done,
but I would
have
like to see.
done
I would
a-
like to do that with a 1 megawatt laser and get back to me and tell you how that feels.
I have actually done a crystal grid, and we put a laser grid over the top of it, and that was going crazy before an investigation.
We know a team that was for a while. They were using. They were shooting lasers
Into a crystal.
into a crystal.
Uh-huh.
See if actually charge it with energy, and then turn the laser off and see if it could release energy back into the room. But they were also doing vibrations with it. And somebody said, if you put certain crystals and vibrations with like some kind
They were
of
using clear quartz crystal.
Right.
something it
That's
was,
what we're using.
but there's a danger to
And
it that you can actually cause some kind of radiation with certain crystals and lasers and vibrate. I'm like, you guys just lost me. You're in that whole scientific thing. I have no idea what you just said. So basically, I'm gonna kill myself.
I don't think you have to worry about that with the kind of tools that they would have available to them.
Yeah.
I'd have to talk to Dan Smith. He was talking about it with them and stuff, and he's got the mindset for that. I've got the mindset of like, so can you do something pretty cool? Well, hold my beer. I'll do that.
Yeah.
So being skeptical minded, I'm also willing to try things and admit that I'm wrong at times, which happens more often than I care to admit. But when we were doing the Henderson investigation way back when I first started investigating, it was suggested to have quartz crystal and some other little stones and stuff. And I had the quartz crystal in my pocket, and I was on the investigation. This is just proof that it can be good and bad to have crystals on you. So I don't know what was around me, but all of a sudden I had this intense burning feeling in my coming from my pocket, and I'm like, ow, ow, and I go grab it, and it's actually hot, and I take the thing out of my pocket. The crystal actually had turned completely black, and it cracked right through the middle. And in order to do that, you really need a lot of energy.
Yeah.
So whatever it was pretty intense and energy wise. So I don't know what that exactly was. I personally, as we all have our personal beliefs, I will say that's probably a spirit of some sort. I don't know if it's human spirit or a demon or an elemental or any of the other millions of classifications people have come up with, fairies, whatever. But it was something, and it was something very powerful, enough to cause a crystal to crack through the middle and get hot and turn black.
Yeah.
So
That's funny that you mentioned that. I have had an amethyst crystal I was using on investigation turn completely black.
see, and now here's my thoughts on this, because I know some of the things related to Henderson were pretty negative of some nature in that slant. I actually think it's not a bad idea to have some type of crystal on you for that reason alone, as detection. Especially if you're not a medium or empathic like I am now, which I wasn't really at the time, or I wasn't open to it at the time, where you sense things like of negative nature, but to be to be for wear and for protective sakes when you're doing an investigation. Just, because if something like that happens, you're dealing with something powerful. It might want to steer your course of your direction a little bit more, or maybe consult with a team that has had a little bit more experience dealing with something a little bit more negative.
Right.
Sometimes that could lead that way.
Yeah.
Or get other team members the hell out of the way.
That too, especially if they're inexperienced.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we all know my thoughts on crystals in the paranormal field. I think they're an invaluable tool.
Amen.
Right.
On many, many levels, huge levels. I don't think you need to worry about shoving them through lasers or anything like that, in all honesty. I think they've got their own power. They know what they're doing, and you just ask them to do it and have the right intention, and, they'll do their job. They know what their job is. You don't need to, start charging them with lasers and stuff. Oh. In my opinion, having said that, I've not tried it. Might have a go, might look into that. Well, I probably will now. But,
it's all vibration.
Because I can't resist. Energy. Exactly. It's all energy and vibration. So I'm not going to discount that. But I think your intention regarding working with crystals is a lot more important. But then that's me. That's how I work in the field. Ask me to work without crystals. Oh, my goodness me. That was such hard work. That was
It probably made it not as enjoyable of an investigation for you. Because you're out. Yeah, because you're out of your element at that point.
Completely out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've even sat there and played with tarot cards while I was doing an investigation and had better results. You know what I mean? But then I've always known this about myself. I need a tool, whether that be a crystal, a pack of tarot cards, or, a glass crystal ball. I need a tool to be able to focus my mental state, I suppose you want to class it as, into being able to work in that way and work the energy in that way. That's me. That's just me. So to work without that was very, very difficult. I admire any medium that can go out into the field and not need that. And actually go, we've got a spirit here. His name is Joe Bloggs. He's 19. He died this way. He looks like this. I find that fascinating, because that's not how I pick up. I have to say this time and time again. I am not a medium. Don't ask me those kind of questions, because I very, very rarely get that kind of information. What I can tell you is roughly where the energy changes, vague details about them, but nothing majorly specific about them as a person, because I can't pick up an individual spirit. I have done it, but I don't do it very often, because that's not how I work. But if I'm working crystals in the paranormal field, I can raise their energy level and they'll get a better night activity.
Mm-hmm.
How does that work? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to work out and prove. But I can't do that because I've not got the scientific or technical, I suppose, knowledge. I've got a bit, but nowhere near the scientific level that you probably would need to explain it 100%. I don't even think the scientific world has got to that point yet. Nope. But, that's sort of where I'm moving towards in my work. But you've got people like yourself, Teresa, who work in energy work, who can go out and get that kind of information without a tool. And that I find fascinating.
Sometimes it comes through and it's so crystal clear. And other times it's not clear at all. For me personally. Yeah. Sometimes it's not clear at all. It doesn't make any sense. And I'm finding out that what doesn't make sense to me makes complete sense to somebody else.
But they say that, don't they? Whatever you get, no matter how weird or vague it sounds, say it. Say it as you get it. Don't dress it up. Don't dress it up. Just say as you get.
Yeah. Well, it's like when we went on that private investigation down in Lexington a couple weeks ago. I kept getting, it was like when you had the old television sets that you had to go up and actually turn the TV knob on to change the channel. Mm-hmm. And it was like I could see that I would start out with this picture of this house, and then it would just like somebody was changing the channel, and it kept going to different houses. And I couldn't figure out what that meant. That was just really odd to me. So I had put that in my text to Jay, and we get down there and we found out that the lady had been moving from house to house to house to house.
Oh, right.
So that's why it was, it didn't make sense to me at the time.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, it made complete sense.
Yeah.
So I'm learning to not second guess myself.
Yeah.
And that's something really difficult to do. I'm learning not to second guess myself, and to when it enters my mind, to write it down or say it.
And you tell me to watch what I say, to think first. That's just screwed up.
It's because what I say doesn't come out as mouthy.
That's double standard bullshit.
I mean, this leads us to the other side, is that the other point of this was I had actually researched this investigation quite heavily before I went, because that's part of the job that I'm doing. And that really hindered it, because I double doubted everything and anything I did get. Because I thought, oh, God, I might have read that in the research I've been doing.
I don't do any of the research.
I don't normally. No, I
Just
don't
like you
normally.
did.
This is a very special case type of investigation.
See? You broke one of your rules for investigating, and when we did that residential, I broke one of mine.
Yeah.
Big time. I always said I don't want to deal with the client. I do not want to interact with them. And next thing you know, I'm talking
And he
like
was
crazy.
motor mouth. He was just chatty catty over there. And we're like, seriously? Where did this guy come from? It was really funny.
Isn't it weird, though, when you work in a way or do things in a way that you don't normally do, how strange that feels?
Well, I think it's because I could relate to her. She was, she reminded me of somebody from my dad's side of the family.
Yeah.
And of course we get down there and, hey, how y'all doing? Come on in. I'm like, oh, Lord God. Here we go. We're in the backwoods. Oh, shit.
And she was originally from Eastern Kentucky, which is where both of our families originate from.
Ah, so it had lots in common.
So, yeah, and she was like, I'm sorry about my accent. We're like, what accent?
Yeah, you sound like fun to me.
I understand you crystal clear.
At least she wasn't mush mouth like some of them are. Like, Teresa got an uncle when he talks like he just talks like that. I was like, what the hell did you just say?
Yeah, he doesn't. It's like he doesn't really open up his mouth to talk. It's just all kind of there.
So, but yeah, I do want to apologize because I know we're getting kind of towards the end of the show for my little rants tonight, but I have absolutely just wired here lately on some topics, and I'm being bad tonight. Sorry, Kerry, Dave.
No, we love it. We love it when you have a little rant, Jay. Don't you carry on. Don't ever stop, because
I won't.
It is worth the shaking it up. It's worth saying it, because somebody's got to say it. And a lot of people are scared of saying stuff at the moment, because in case they get took out.
Well, and that's just it. I say a lot of things that everybody else is already thinking. It's just I'm dumb enough to go ahead and put it into words. I'm not worried about the whole politically correctness. I'm not worried about whose feelings may or may not get hurt. These topics need to be addressed and then on an intelligent level. I don't want to argue about it. I don't want to debate it. I want to understand. So I'm not doing it because I want to be controversial. I'm doing it because I want to understand the knowledge. And most people, they get defensive. As soon as you say something like I say it, most people get very defensive. And they're no longer listening to respond. Or that's actually what they're doing. They're listening to respond and no longer listening to learn. And I want to learn. I want to understand why I don't understand this. If I'm saying something wrong, please tell me how and why so I can say it the right damn way.
Yeah. I think that's a huge part of the paranormal, is learning, constantly learning. And sometimes learn stuff that is not even paranormal. I mean, I've been looking into mine shafts for an investigation that is going on. Oh, God, how boring. Mine shafts, mining, that's not my bag at all. But I've got a theory that it's relevant in regards to this particular haunting. Do you know what I mean? I've got a theory and I need to learn to progress and see if what I think is relevant. It might not be. I might not know a single solitary thing about mining, but I'll go away, I'll ask the questions and see if it fits and whether it's a possible reason or not. You learn, and that is the point. You learn, and you learn from so many different fields in the paranormal. And the day you stop learning, I'm going off on a little rant now. The day you stop learning in regards to the paranormal is the day you should leave the field.
Absolutely.
Oh, and there's a whole bunch of people I've met here lately. It was like, well, I'm a leader in this field. I know everything. Right now, when you said you're a leader in this field, I could respect you for that because you put some time into it. But since you said I know everything, now I think you just kiss my ass because now it shows me how much you don't know, how closed-minded you truly are. You really don't understand the concept of what's going on, that how things are progressing. You're stuck in a rut, and you're stuck in the 19 whatever that you knew, and you refuse to move, and that's bullshit. You're not helping the field. You're actually hindering it.
Yeah, look at how you use your tools in the field, whether that be a medium in the field, whether that be your kit in the field. Turn it on its head. Try something different. You might get a result. You might not, but try it.
I'm more like a double extra large in the field, not a medium.
But it doesn't hurt to try.
Exactly. And if we don't start changing some of the things that we're doing in regards to investigations, then this field is going to stay stagnant as hell and not progress.
People in this field aren't afraid of the spirits. They're not afraid of the demons. They're not afraid of the cryptids and all this other stuff. What they're afraid of sometimes is expanding their own damn minds.
Yes.
The one thing that they shouldn't be afraid of, they are. What? And I'm a dumb redneck and I can figure this shit out? It can't be that difficult.
No, and keep learning, keep researching, keep learning, and take things in a different way, do things in a different way. We've come up with a different way of working with the medium in a field tonight.
Yep.
Haven't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
If you can get your medium to cooperate.
If you can get your medium to cooperate, that is. Yeah, this is very true. But we've came up with two other possibilities of how a medium could work in the field without actually polluting, I suppose, the investigation psychology.
Yep.
God, now she gets that intelligent stuff that I drink in. You got to do that every time, don't you?
I just like to pop it in at the end.
But what I do like is not only did I go on a rant tonight, Kerry ended up going on a rant, and she went on an intelligent rant, unlike mine. Way to go, girl.
I think yours was just as good as mine.
Well, we are down to about 45 seconds. We are going to have to go. We may continue this next week.
I think, Matt, we say this every week. We love a little round table, don't we?
Oh, I do. We're doing them on Monday nights also now because they're going so well.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to join you one day on your round table on a Monday.
Get somebody else over on your side of the pond come join us on a round table.
Oh, you know what my UK people are like? They like their beds too much. Me, I'm up most of the night.
Bring them on. I want to chat with them. So we do appreciate you guys all listening. I want to shut up so everybody else can say good night. Good night.
Night, y'all.
Good night.
It's not easy having yourself look good.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.